time, what do I need to do? I'm good. Maybe they've saved, they've done really well, but now they're concerned with, what about other costs in retirement? Do I have enough? And this is one of those areas when we talk about the risk in retirement, and it applies even prior to retirement. Things like inflation, right? Things like market risk, healthcare costs in retirement, volatility when it comes to that market risk. These are all types of risks that can hurt us in retirement. This can cause us to potentially run out of money. And one of the biggest risks of all is longevity risk. People are living longer. When Social Security started, when the Social Security Act was passed back in 1935, the average life expectancy was only 61 years old. And when you think that, early retirement was 62, the retirement age was at that time 65. So for most people, half people did, if 61 is the average, most people weren't even reaching retirement age to where, or at least Social Security retirement age, where they'd even collect Social Security. Today, think of how that's changed, and you also understand why Social Security is in such trouble today, is the fact that people are living so much longer. We're 20 years longer than what they were when Social Security passed back in 1935. Now, for an average male, age 65, the life expectancy is like 82, 83 years old, and for a woman, it's like 85 to 87. So when you're looking at those kind of numbers, you're talking about 20, 25, maybe even 30 years or more in retirement. That means that puts a lot more pressure on everything, doesn't it? So if you're living longer, inflation could have a bigger impact on you, couldn't it? And market risk is much more of a concern if you're living longer. As is healthcare costs. The longer you live, the higher those are going to be. Do you have a plan to cover these things when you retire? Well, that's a big part of what we're going to talk about, is how, in fact, to do that. So, but first, a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into how this planning part works, right? We're going to talk more about some of the findings, and then we're going to talk about solutions, how, in fact, you can make sure you have a plan to attain and maintain your standard of living, your quality of life, no matter how long you live. So first, a quick break, and then join me here. We'll be right back on the Retirement Report.
This is a story.